Phantom vibration syndrome.
You're sitting there, and suddenly you feel a distinct vibration in your pocket. Someone's calling, or maybe you just got a text. You pull out your phone, but the screen is pitch black. No notifications, nothing. You're not losing your mind. This is called phantom vibration syndrome, and in today's world, nearly 90% of smartphone users experience it.
So where does this fake signal come from? The truth is, your brain craves social media updates and notifications like a reward. As a result, it becomes hypervigilant. The friction of your clothes against your skin, a minor muscle twitch, or keys shifting in your pocket. Your nervous system misinterprets it. Instead of filtering it out, your brain panics and sends a false alarm. Quick, check your phone. It's a literal sensory hallucination, proving just how deeply wired you are to the digital world. The doorway effect. You get up with a clear purpose, walk out of the room, step through a doorway into the kitchen, and the second you get there, the thought is completely gone. You stand there wondering why you even walked in, but the moment you walk back to where you started, everything snaps right back into your head. Scientists call this the doorway effect, and it's not a sign of a failing memory. Your brain organizes thoughts based on your physical environment. When you pass through a doorway, your brain treats it as an event boundary. It literally clears the desk, archives the thoughts from the previous room, and opens a blank page for the new context. Passing through a door is a mental reset button, and going back works simply because you re-entered the context where the thought was born. The Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon. You suddenly learn a rare new word, or maybe you decide you really like a specific car model, and then out of nowhere, you start seeing it everywhere. It's on commercials, it's parked on your street, the person next to you is talking about it. It feels like the universe suddenly multiplied this one thing overnight. Is it a glitch in the Matrix?
No, it's the Baader-Meinhof Phenomenon, also known as frequency illusion. That car or that word was always there, surrounding you every single day. But before, your brain classified it as useless data and filtered it out to save energy. The moment you showed interest, your brain slapped an important label on it. Now your selective attention filter actively highlights it out of the background noise. The world didn't change. Your brain just adjusted its focus.
Illusory correlation. Why is it that every time you are in a desperate rush, every single traffic light turns red? Or why does it always rain right after you wash your car? Does the universe have a personal vendetta against you? In reality, it's just a statistical trap built into your brain. Your mind completely forgets the hundreds of days you cruised through green lights or washed your car under a clear sky because those moments lacked emotion. But getting stuck when you're late or watching your freshly cleaned car get covered in mud sparks an intense negative emotion. Your brain collects these emotionally charged errors, connects the dots where there are none, and creates a false narrative that the odds are always stacked against you. Spotlight effect. You accidentally spill a tiny drop of coffee on your shirt, or your hair isn't sitting quite right today. The moment you step outside, you feel like an invisible spotlight is shining directly on you. You're convinced that every passerby is staring at your flaw and judging you. This is the spotlight effect. Because we are the center of our own universe, we naturally overestimate how much attention other people are paying to us. The comforting reality is that almost no one is looking at your flaw. They aren't ignoring you because they are mean. They are ignoring you because they are too busy worrying about their own metaphorical coffee stains. Everyone is the main character in their own head. Apophenia. You look at an ordinary wall outlet and see a shocked face. A car's headlights and bumper look like a cheerful smile, and the clouds above look exactly like a running bear. Why does our brain constantly project human traits and patterns onto lifeless objects? This is a deeply rooted evolutionary mechanism called apophenia. For our ancestors, surviving in the wild depended on recognizing a predator hidden in the bushes in a fraction of a second. It was far safer to mistake a harmless rock for a tiger than to miss a tiger entirely. Evolution favored the oversensitive brain. Millions of years later, those jungles are gone, but that ancient alarm system is still running in the background, desperately finding faces in your morning coffee foam. Intrusive thoughts. You're standing at the edge of a high balcony, looking down, and out of nowhere, a terrifying voice whispers in your mind, "What if you just jump right now?" Or you're waiting for the subway, and you get a split-second flash of throwing yourself onto the tracks. It sends a chill down your spine. You wonder, am I losing it? Am I a bad person? Don't worry. These are called intrusive thoughts.
and they happen to almost everyone. This is actually your brain's defensive mechanism, simulating the worst-case scenario to keep you safe. It violently flashes the danger on your mental screen to shock you into awareness, essentially saying,
Look how lethal this is. Step back and be careful. The fact that the thought frightens you is the ultimate proof that your survival instincts are working perfectly. Cryptomnesia. You sit down and suddenly come up with a brilliant business idea, a beautiful poetic line, or the perfect melody. You feel like an absolute genius. But days later, you find that exact same concept in a book or a video. Were you plagiarized, or was it the other way around?
Welcome to Cryptomnesia, a fascinating glitch where your brain misplaces the source of a memory. At some point in the past, you read or heard that piece of information. Your brain stored the data, but completely threw away the context of where it came from.
Years later, your mind unearths the file from the archive and presents it back to your conscious mind, proudly claiming, "Look what we just invented." Your memory didn't fail you, it just dressed up an old echo as a brand new thought. Our minds are far more complex, beautifully flawed, and deceptive than we will ever truly realize.
The Tetris Effect. You spend hours playing a video game, scrolling through endless video feeds, or sorting items at work. Later that night, you turn off the lights, close your eyes to sleep, and suddenly you see falling blocks, moving puzzle pieces, or game grids floating in the darkness behind your eyelids. This is known as the Tetris Effect. It happens when a repetitive activity takes up so much of your focus that it begins to hijack your thought patterns, mental imagery, and even your dreams. Your brain is an adaptive machine. When you feed it the same visual pattern for hours, it assumes this is your new reality. Even after you stop, your brain keeps running the background program, trying to optimize, sort, and process the patterns it was forced to look at. It's a literal neurological loop, showing that your brain can't just switch off what you overfeed it. Presque Vu.
You are in the middle of a sentence, and you want to say a specific word, a movie title, or someone's name. You know it perfectly. You can feel its shape, its first letter, its rhythm. It is right there, hovering on the tip of your tongue, but you just cannot spit it out. This frustrating phenomenon is scientifically called Presque Vu, meaning almost seen, or simply the tip of the tongue state.
What's happening is a temporary sorting error in your brain's retrieval network. Your mind has successfully activated the meaning and the concept of the word, but the neural path connecting it to the actual sound or spelling has briefly short-circuited. Your brain is frantically searching the database, throwing you synonyms or words that sound similar, blocking the exact one you need. The moment you stop thinking about it, the block clears, and the word randomly pops into your head. It's a reminder that our mental search engines can get jammed by the simplest of glitches.